What's up, guys, and welcome back to the Stocks with Mike and Tom show. We have so much to talk about in today's video. AMC stock and BB stock went absolutely crazy. In today's video, we're going to be going over the best plays to watch for tomorrow, what happened with AMC and BB stock, and some very important news to watch out for. And at the end of today's video, we have a $12.8 million options trade to make, so make sure you stick around for that. And if you guys are new here, don't forget to subscribe. We post brand new videos every single day. But Tom, let's get right into today's video.
Yeah, and unfortunately, to open the day today, AMC, well, it actually initially started flying up to the upside, hitting 77.30, which was the highest of the past few days, which was actually pretty good. But then it just tanked off on news that AMC had completed a new stock offering announced just Thursday morning. And CNBC went ahead and put out this really good article showing a ton of stuff. But you can read here, AMC Entertainment said it completed its new stock offering announced just Thursday morning, raising $587.4 million in additional capital. I know that they raised like $200 million yesterday as well. So they keep doing these share offerings. They did it at $50.85 per share. And if we go look at AMC right now, it's at $53.54. So that's not a bad offering there at $50, to be honest. And they made a lot of money off of it. And they're really taking advantage of their stock price being high, which is very smart of them as a company. And I know yesterday they even tried to keep retail investors in the stock by offering free popcorn and special screenings and stuff at their theaters. So it's been a crazy couple days for AMC for sure, especially today with all the downwards movement. It did start to try to come back though in the middle of the day and then ended up tanking off actually at the end. So we're just going to have to see what happens tomorrow. Hopefully it can hold the $50 support, and keep in mind that's like right where they offered those shares. So I think that's going to pose a very good support level tomorrow.
You know it. And then in regards to the share offering, in general, share offerings are good for the company, but they're not the best for the stock itself in the short term because it adds more shares in the open market, and it also adds selling pressure. But overall, it is a good sign for the company. The money that they raise from that share offering will definitely help them just reinvest back into their business. So that's good to see. But Tom, we have to talk about what's going on with BB. I know a lot of people are talking about this one, and it had a pretty good day actually. We can see it really ran up towards the beginning of the day and sold off a little bit. But what's going on here?
Yeah, it was actually pretty similar looking to AMC, the way it fell off in pre-market, and then it opened. It actually almost recovered all the way back up and then tanked off again, and it's down a little bit now, but there's been a lot more chatter on this one. You can see it actually closed green, up 4.13%, to where AMC ended up closing down negative 17%. And BB's been getting a lot of chatter on Wall Street Bets and Reddit right now, and the short float is 7.98% on our stock bot, and that's a pretty good short float. It's not the highest in the world, but there's still some potential for it to squeeze. And with BB, just keep in mind with the chatter on Wall Street Bets and everything, I think that's the main thing here. If we can start to see more hype on this, obviously a lot of AMC investors might be transitioning into Blackberry, and that's a pretty good thing to see. You know, if we start to see all those people flocking to Blackberry and buying it, and hodling Blackberry, then I think it'll be a pretty good situation over the next couple of days. And it did kind of bounce off of $20 today and then go back to the downside. At least right at market open, you can see it hit 20. So I would actually watch for $20 tomorrow and then $21.50 after it.
Alrighty, so while we're on the topic of shorts and short squeezes, the hedge funds who are short AMC are still holding. So this is pretty crazy. They really have diamond hands with their shorts. You know, they're really taking a lot to squeeze them out of this stock, but they're still holding, which is good and bad. You know, it's still hard to push the stock back up, but if we continue to see retail traders hold the line, eventually they will have to cover their shares, and that'll really bring the stock up. So either way, it's a very interesting and unique situation, but I definitely have my eyes on BB though. I know a lot of people are talking about it, but Tom, do you have any levels for us with AMC and BB? I know a lot of people are looking at different resistance levels and also support levels. So what do you think?
I think that $16 is actually really good on Blackberry. Somewhere right around 16 seems like a really good support. and we're also on the 100 SMA. I think that that's going to pose as a good support for tomorrow. And I think that that there's still a lot of potential in these stocks. It still went down today, but keep in mind that whenever GameStop went up, we did see a couple of red days mixed in there, and that's just the name of the game. Whenever we fly up, let's just say 100% over the course of a week, then you have to kind of just expect little pullbacks like this. And I still think that there's a lot of potential, like I said, especially with AMC and BB. I like the support at 16 on Blackberry. On AMC, at the end of the day, we hit $50, and I think that's going to be a big level in people's minds. But honestly, there's a bigger support down there around 40 that I think will hold up even better. But 50 seemed to be good at the end of the day. It kind of held its ground there, and I think that'll be a good support. But if it starts to go up tomorrow, maybe look for a resistance around 64 or 65. But honestly, if we start to see, this start to really gap up and start to go green, it likes to just move like 2 points every second. So it'll be breaking these resistances left and right if it starts going up.
Alrighty, so Tom, Tesla was the stock that everyone was talking about last year. Today it finished down around 5% today. I actually heard people were selling out of their Tesla shares to invest in AMC and other hype stocks, you can say. But what's going on with Tesla? They've been really pulling back over the past couple months, and they had a horrible day today.
Yeah, there was a terrible catalyst today, and CNBC reports that the shares dropped on report of steep May sales declines in China. And the information was citing a single source familiar with the data, but they wrote that Tesla's monthly net orders in China dropped to about 9,800 in May from more than 18,000 in April. And that's a pretty big drop, almost 50% there on that drop on those orders. And that's a pretty big thing. Tesla obviously needs to see sales keep going up, and to see them dropping, especially in a place like China, is a pretty negative thing to see. And we can see the stock price is really starting to go down now. And there's a pretty solid trend line that Tesla hit off of and has started to actually go down off of. And it's just a terrible situation. It fell below that 600 support and just flew down today. And let's go look at it on the 5-minute, and you can really kind of see how much it started to fall off once this report came out. And there's just a lot of negative momentum. And like Mike said, AMC and Blackberry and GME, even those stocks aren't helping the situation for Tesla at all, because people who are hyping Tesla up now are trying to hype up AMC, GameStop, and others. So it's a bad situation for Tesla all around. And, I wonder if Michael Burry's still short, because this is a pretty good setup here on the daily to the downside. I've been talking about it for a couple of days, and it's always really hard to short Tesla, because who knows, it could have broken this trend line and gapped up 10% that day on some good news. So it's one of those stocks where anything can happen, but it does look like it's starting to go bearish right now. And in the longer term, I think it'll be great. And I hope it keeps going down, because then I can just grab shares even lower and make more on my investments in the longer run.
Yeah, so I'm a big fan of them for the long term. For the short term, they are looking a little shaky. But now let's get right into our member of the day and then the momentum plays. For today's member of the day, we have Mr. Robot. Huge shout out, Mr. Robot. Thanks for being a great member of the community and asking great questions. But Tom, let's get right into the momentum plays for tomorrow. And with the first one, we have AMD to the downside.
Yep, tech was just selling off today, it seemed like. I would make AMD fall right below the $80 support. And if it does, I think that we're pretty clear all the way down to 79 for like a quick point gap, maybe 78. I think that could happen pretty quickly, but make it break below $80.
All right, with the next one, we have Square.
Square, another one going to the downside. Make it break below the 210 support. It's sitting right around 211 right now, but there's a solid support at 210.
All right, and then with the last one, we have UAL.
UAL, United Airlines. This one's unfortunate. I was hoping these would actually start to recover back, but still not down too much. Make it break below 57.23 tomorrow.
All right, so we are watching these 3 plays for potential day trades to the downside tomorrow, only if they break below the levels Tom listed. But now, Tom, we have to cover the amazing trade from our bot today. We have the hybrid bot, which called out BB call options. very close to its bottom today, around $300 each, and they ran all the way up to $545 each. This spot has been on fire. Of course, it doesn't always catch the bottom, but it really did have an amazing day today, and it's had an amazing week. So this spot has been on fire. If you want to use this spot and trade with Tom and I every single day, you can click the first link in the description down below, and you can save about $40. Like I said, the bot has been on fire, so definitely consider it. But now let's get right into the questions from the previous episode. And with the first question, we have Umar saying, "Hey Mike and Tom, good show as always. My question is, when you sell a put option for a credit and the price of the stock is still above your strike on Friday at 4 p.m. at close, what happens if the price drops in after hours? Does your option expire worthless, or do you have to buy the shares?" So this is a great question. It's a little bit advanced, but I'll explain it pretty in a simple way. This is one of the quote-unquote hidden risks while trading options. Like you have, or while shorting options, I should say, like you have like dividend risk, and then you have assignment risk. This goes hand in hand with assignment risk. Basically what happens in a situation like this is the person who bought that put option from you, they have the option to exercise that put option like until a couple hours after close on Friday. So technically, let's say you sold, so right now Apple right now is at $123.50. Let's say you sell the 123 put that expires tomorrow. Apple can close at like $123.10, but fall all the way down to like 122 in after hours. And the person who bought that put option from you can just exercise it in after hours, and then you will have to buy the shares on Monday. So to answer your question, if you short a put option and you hold it till expiration and the stock goes below your strike price, there's a good chance that you will have to buy those shares. To get around this problem, one, you can just close the put option like right before the market closes. It'll only cost you like a couple dollars, and that's the easiest way to go. And then another thing is you could just like roll the put option if you really wanted to, but it's basically the same thing as just selling it. But I hope this answers your question, and that's a great question. With the next question, we have Justin saying, "They halted AMC selling a few different times today. It's utter BS, and people need to be way more pissed off about this. Can you guys go over these halts? What happens when they do this?" So basically when halts happen, all trading is paused. And like, I remember like with circuit breakers, Tom, back in the crash of 1987, that's when they first started using like market-wide circuit breakers. And that's like when the market's down significantly. But the original purpose of this was just to like kind of like ease some of the selling pressure, because Black Monday was brutal. Halts, like, I know it sucks in situations like these, and there's not really much you can do about them. Sometimes after, these agencies do a halt, sometimes the stock flies up, but a lot of times it does bring in a lot of selling pressure.
Yeah, it can. And today it actually made the stock go back up. But at the end of the day, it still ended up going down, at least, later on that day. So that was unfortunate to see. But the halt today did kind of stop that selling pressure, which was good. And, the stock still might have went up if the halt wasn't there. But at least the halt stopped that selling momentarily, or else who knows, it could have maybe went down to $35. And that's probably why the halts are in place. But if it, for example, I remember Workhorse did this a long time ago, and someone brought this up in the SM chat a couple days ago, but Workhorse was really going down. And whenever that stock was just crashing, it was a very unfortunate thing to see. But the thing was that it was just halting left and right. And then after it would halt, it would just gap down again. And it just created a really bad panic. And it's good. It's a good thing that AMC didn't do that. But that's really where the halts can like really bite you, as if it halts and then just keeps gapping down after the halt.
Yeah, so I know on Black Monday in 1987, the Dow fell by over 22%. So, it kind of makes sense why circuit breakers are in place. And I know that circuit breakers are definitely a little bit different than, a halt on a stock like AMC. But, they're good and bad sometimes. And then with the next question, we have TV saying, "How is Boeing looking for short-term calls?" What do you think about this one, Tom?
Yeah, I don't know. I personally am starting to look at it in a little bit of a bearish sense. It came up and it hit this resistance right around $260. You could say like 258, 259, but it got really close. And then now it's starting to come to the downside. We look at the 5-day, 15-minute, you can really see how it hit that upper trend line pretty definedly. And then now it's coming down. I would say personally, I would probably look at puts, if anything, in the short term with it. I do like Boeing though in the longer run. And if it starts to break out above this, I think calls could be awesome. But right now, it just seems like there's a little bit of selling pressure, and they have recovered pretty nicely, up from $220 all the way up to 260, pretty much just gapping 40 points up over like 5 trading days or 6 trading days. So it wasn't too bad. It was a pretty good move. And I just think that they could be due for maybe a little bit of short term consolidation. What do you think?
Yeah, I can see it. Honestly, I'm just pretty neutral on it. I wouldn't be buying calls on it at this level. I think it's a little bit overextended, especially on the daily chart for the short term. So I'm just going to stay neutral on it as of right now. But Tom, the market's still going crazy. We have AMC, BB, even Workhorse starting to pop up. What are some of the top stocks you're watching for tomorrow?
I'm still watching Nvidia too. They had some stock split news today where they finally approved the stock split. It's going to be a 2-for-1, which is good. And I'm going to be watching for them to break 690 and possibly head up towards $700. I just think it's a pretty good stock and looks like it has a lot of momentum. It's also holding the 100 SMA and also right along $680. So for tomorrow, I'm definitely going to be watching Nvidia as well as the SPY. I'm definitely going to be watching that. It had a lot of selling pressure today and pre-market. So I'm going to be watching tomorrow just in case it keeps falling back to the downside, which would be unfortunate. And that might prove that the double top on the SPY might be happening and we might start to see a market pullback here. But that's my main concern. And obviously, I'm still going to be watching AMC and Blackberry too. Those two stocks are awesome. I'm really going to be watching Blackberry, hoping that one can pop back up. If that can start running, that would be really nice. We see, like, for example, like whenever GME was going up, it kind of brought AMC with it. Now AMC is bringing a few stocks with it as well. I think Blackberry could really do well, especially if AMC keeps flying.
All right, well, thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Don't forget to check out our bot in the first link in the description down below. You'll save about $40, and the bot has been on fire lately, so definitely don't forget to check that out. And come join Tom and I live at Market Open on the Stocked Up Live channel in the link in the description down below. And if you are new here, don't forget to subscribe. We post brand new videos every single day. But other than that, thanks for watching.